Well, who's that getting off the Ford Tri-Motor last year? Oh, yeah, it's Sonny Dixon.
What's up, brother? Good to see you, my friend. It was good. It was great.
Yeah, he's talking about flying on the Experimental Aviation Association Ford Tri-Motor in Savannah a year ago and coming back next weekend. You can find a page on Facebook. The local EAA chapter is sponsoring this visit just like they did last year. These are all pictures from about a 25-minute flight we got to take last year on board the Tri-Motor. We actually got to fly over the flight line at 100. Oh yeah, that's Sonny in the right seat up front there. There are only 6 of these planes in existence that can fly, and only 3 that fly on a regular basis. Really, what a good time. And coming back to Savannah, they'll be in next weekend. Back at Savannah Aviation. Just $75 for a flight, and there's nothing like it anywhere else. Up with great stories.
I was an Army helicopter pilot, and after Vietnam, I was stationed here at Hunter Army Airfield. I was an instructor pilot, met my wife here. But before that, I was in Topeka, Kansas, at Philip Billard Airport, which is now closed. But in 1971, a Ford Tri-Motor came there and was given rides for, I believe it was $8.50 to ride in the Tri-Motor. I didn't feel like spending the money then, but $75 is a pretty good deal now. It looks like a very good deal. It's the very same airplane.
That's the fascinating thing. You can see, look at there, 64. Have I got it focused? No, let me get 64 to 73. And that's when you saw this very plane.
Uh-huh.
All right, so when was the first time you got to fly in?
I've not flown on it yet, but I hope to get on to it this afternoon. I hope there's an extra seat. It's a pleasure, and it's just very good to be with it and be around it.
Isn't it a hoot?
What it must be for you to do this, a pretty regular thing.
Oh, absolutely. Not as regular as I'd like it. You know, it's a volunteer deal, and I have a day job. So when I can get some time off of my day jobs and it works out, then I get to come and do this. And I get to come and do it. It's just a hoot. It's just a hoot.
Really, what a treat for so many people, too. You give people a chance to do something that's really for a lot of these folks, I mean, it is a once in a lifetime.
Oh yeah, you truly do share an experience. You know, we call it an experience, and it is an experience. It's a historical experience because you do hear, see, smell, feel what you would have felt if you were in stepping back in 1929 and took an airplane ride. This is it.
This plane is in such remarkable condition.
Oh, yeah.
All these planes that are in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this airplane is impeccably maintained. It is truly an artifact, you know, and so we care for it like an artifact, like you would any artifact that you want that's already lasted since 1929. We want it to last another 100 years. You know, and so we take care of it like that. It is meticulously maintained. Every 100 hours, a very thorough inspection. Every annual and even more every year, and even a more thorough inspection. And every day, we inspect it before we go flying every day.
Well, there's a little history of the plane on the doors there. Can you tell me a little history of the condition of the plane? I mean, what this plane went through?
Oh, golly. Well, I mean, I know some of it, but I mean, is from a very long time, and a lot of records were misplaced or whatever. But the EAA acquired the airplane in 1973, 74, I can't remember. It had been damaged in a windstorm. It was tied down and had been flipped upside down onto its back and was crunched up pretty good. Well, the EAA, over the course of about 10 years, restored the airplane to the condition that it's in now by acquiring parts from other tri-motors that had been around, and then, for the most part, making what they needed. Making them, making parts and making it work. And then in that process, they upgraded it significantly. It does have. I've said that we maintain most of the old systems. One of the main systems that we redid was the brakes. It has very good brakes on it, where before it was a very weak brake. And back in 1929, it was an issue because they all flew on grass. They didn't have crosswinds. They landed in the middle of fields into the wind always, so brakes wasn't an issue. Now we're on pavement and stuff, so we've upgraded the brakes. The engines, now it had these engines on it for quite some time, but these are definitely better engines than what would have been on it when it was new. Far more reliable, far more power. So everything that's been done to the airplane, from the maintenance, from the modern era on, has just been, anything that's been changed has been changed to make it more safe. Still keep the authenticity. So we don't need fancy instrumentations, but we need good mechanical systems, like good brakes, good engines.
Well, it's remarkable to me how steady this plane feels, because we're out in a day that it's blowing around a little bit, and we're at pretty low altitudes, and it kind of feels like a sled.
Yeah, well, it's got a lot of mass, okay, and if you look at the size of the wing, it has a very large planform on the wing, and so it then kind of carries itself through what would be any of the thermals, which is what you would get today, a little bit of thermals up and down. The wind is not so bad, but where you get it is thermals with the air coming up, at different speeds, varying speeds, and that's what you feel when you get into turbulence at times. And with this airplane, it's just so big, so much mass, and it's so slow, so it doesn't transition from one shaft of air to the next very quickly, so it just lumbers along, and it's a lovely airplane even in turbulence.
Well, what's the trick to flying? It's obviously it's what am I trying to say? It's not
It's a tailwheel airplane. It's a tailwheel airplane.
I'm trying to say. So you obviously got some issues there, but it also looks like it's got a pretty big sail.
It does, but all of the pilots that volunteer for the EA and us tri-motor pilots, we came with a lot of experience in airplanes similar to this. Now, there's not that many airplanes like this flying. There's 6 of them around, 3 of which fly regularly. So it's rare to find somebody with a whole bunch of tri-motor time. But we fly airplanes of the similar genre, like Beech 18 or DC-3 or something like that, and all of us have, like Beech 18, DC-3 time, have old airplane behavior type flying airplanes, because they do behavior a little bit different. They do behave a little bit different than your modern airplanes, but it's a learned behavior. Like you learn it, and so we all come with a lot of experience, and then we train. We train annually. We have an initial training, and then we train annually. And before we're turned loose by ourselves, is a very long process. We have 100 landings as a co-pilot, 100 landings as a captain. We take care of this artifact.
Where does it live?
It lives. Its home base is Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It's part of the corral of the Experimental Aircraft Association. But it spends the lion's share of its time on the road. It's home to visit about a month a year. Other than that, it's on the road.
Well, I think it's like
Yeah.
one of the things about this for the public is it's large.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Talk a little bit about the
Oh
price
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Even if you come out here and you hit the whole 55 bucks.
Or 75. 75 is a ride. 75 is a ride, and then for the kids, 55. And then you can buy the co-pilot seat. You can be a co-pilot on this too for $125. Yeah.
Well, even that.
Yeah. That's a bargain.
It's almost a fourth.
Oh.
It's a little more than a fourth of flying in the B-17.
Yeah. Yeah. But B-17s it's in our corral. It's an EAA airplane too, and we love it. But it's a different experience. That's a wartime experience. This is a general aviation experience. What air transportation was like in 1929. And what's really cool with this airplane is that you can get the co-pilot seat if you want it. You know, you can, you really just sit back.
Go ahead and say, because this is the direction I think you were one of the directions that it seems like you might have been heading. This isn't like flying on the B-17.
No.
You sit down and you strap in and you got a seat.
Yeah.
And it's quite a bit more civilized.
Oh yeah, yes. This is just like flying in an airliner. You know, this is 1929 modern day airliner.
Savannah chapter of the EAA bringing the Ford Trimotor back to town next weekend at Savannah Aviation. Look for them on Facebook.